What's up? I'm back. Ready to do my UFC 71 predictions. Sorry it took so long. I've just been super busy. So I'll be putting on an Ultimate Fighter, sort of the first round of the Ultimate Fighter today, later today. Just talking about who I like, who I don't like, what I've liked about the show, what I've not liked about the show, so on and so forth. And then for the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals, I'll do a video for each show, so once a week on that tip. But on to the UFC 71 predictions. I'm going to go through the preliminary bouts real quick because I think they're all pretty good fights. First one, Alan Belcher, Sean Salmon. I'm going to do these quick because I don't want to waste time on them. Sean Salmon's wrestling ability to me is just it's gonna allow him to win that fight, probably by decision. So Sean Salmon in that one. Wilson Gouvier, Carmelo Marrero in the battle of the identical twins. Seen Marrero fight a little bit more. He seemed a little more impressive to me, so we'll go with Carmelo Marrero. Next match is the one I want to see get on the main card. James Irvin, the Sandman of Flying Knee fame, against Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva, I've never seen him fight. I really want to see his last fight because he won by soccer kick KO. And for those of you out there that don't know what a soccer kick is, in other organizations outside the UFC, some of them allow kicks to the head to a downed opponent. Now, that's a soccer kick. Yeah, I want to see that because it's not, it wasn't a TKO, it was a KO. So that means one soccer kick ended the fight. So he must have landed it pretty flush. I want to see that. Next undercard fight, Dean Dinero Thomas against Jeremy Stephens. I don't know much about Stephens, but you know what? Wave of upsets, I'm going to pick the upset. I think Stephens, he's younger, hungrier, going to win that fight. So, on the main card, first fight, Chris Leben versus Caleb Starnes. Leben, 16-3. He's lost 2 out of his last 3 fights to Jason McDonald and Anderson Silva, of course. He's got great chin. He's got bricks in his hands. He's got a really good takedown defense. But on the ground, he seems a bit lost. Caleb Starnes, 7-1 record. Only loss is to Yushin Okami by TKO, and that was his last fight. They do have a common opponent. It's Jason McDonald. Starnes has beat him. Of course, Leben got choked out by him. Starnes, if he can get Leben to the ground, Starnes will win. And I'm going to say he does. I'm going to say he gets him to the ground. I'm going to say he chokes him out. Probably late second. Now, of course, Leben has a chance to knock him out, but I think Starnes should be able to pull through and get him to the ground. So, go Caleb. Next fight, Keith Jardine against Houston Alexander. Alexander has fought in Extreme Challenge and Gladiators the most of his career, which are 2 organizations that I must admit I've never seen. I've read about him, heard about him, but I've never seen him. He's 6-0 since he lost his first pro fight, so he's got a 6-1 record. But this guy's kind of a can. I mean, I wish they would have got somebody. Keith Jardine just came off a win over Forrest Griffin. Give him someone else to kind of keep building him up instead of Houston Alexander that nobody's heard of. So Keith Jardine knockout first round. Next fight, Ivan Salaverry against Terry Martin. Now, Terry Martin is also of Flying Knee fame. Of course, he was on the receiving end of it. But that wasn't a fight that he was beating. He just tore James Irvin a new one in the first round. So he's only lost to Irvin and Lambert. His last fight was against Jorge Rivera. Only lasted 14 seconds. Those fights always leave me wanting a little bit more. It's cool to see. I love fights getting end, but I always like seeing a little bit more action because whatever. Even Salaverry, 12-4 record. He's very well rounded. He's a local fighter, Pacific Northwest. He's lost to Nate Marquardt, Matt Lindland, Akihiro Gono. So he's lost to some good competition. He has wins over Andrei Semenov and Tony Fricklin. And those of you who know Tony Fricklin, he was on the receiving end of one of the worst knockouts I've ever seen, and that's that Anderson Silva elbow. God, I could watch that over and over again. It's awesome. I just think that Salaverry he's well rounded. I think he's good standing, good on the ground. I think he's going to take it. I don't like picking decisions. I think this one could go to it, but I'll say 3rd round TKO for Ivan Salaverry. On the next fight, the fight that I'm really jacked up for, Josh Berkman 8-3 is his record on SureDog, 19-3 on UFC.com. I'll go with SureDog's record. So Josh Berkman, 8-3, a Team Quest fighter, against Caro Parisian. Everybody knows Caro. He's 16-4. His only losses are Diego Sanchez, GSP, and Sean Sherk twice. Caro is one of my favorite fighters. He's got a great resume. He's got wins over Fickett, Sarah, Chris Liddell, Nick Diaz, Shoney Carter. He's got the best judo in all of MMA, in my opinion. He beat Saku Joe in a judo competition. Saku Joe outweighs him by a good 35 pounds, at least in the MMA divisions, and is an Olympic caliber judo guy. So what's that make Caro if he beat Saku Joe? I mean, wow. Only question I've ever had about Caro is his conditioning. I'm hoping that he kind of has a Tito mentality. When Tito gassed out against Frank Shamrock, Tito's never gassed out again. I'm hoping that's what Caro does after his Diego loss. Caro's still trying to get that elusive title shot. He should have had it, but got hurt. Riggs stepped in, then they told him he had to work his way back up, and he's been fighting and fighting ever since, and he fights the best, and a lot of the time he's beat him. And he has a win over the current champion. So Berkman, of Ultimate Fighter fame, he's a Team Quest fighter, mainly a wrestler. His only real notable win is against Drew Fickett. He's lost to Matt Horwich, who fights in the IFL right now, and that was his first fight. And he's also lost to Jeremy Horn and John Fitch. So he's lost to good fighters. I would have rather seen John Fitch in this fight, but Josh Berkman is someone who's got a name, he's got a fan base, so this is a big fight. I'm going to take Caro by second round TKO. I think it'll just be too much for him. On to the main event. Quentin Rampage Jackson versus Chuck the Iceman Liddell. Jackson, 26-6, is the last person to beat Chuck Liddell. And once again, Chuck has yet to avenge that loss. He's avenged the other two. He's got wins over Chuck, of course, Matt Lindland, Ricardo Arona, Bustamante, Randleman, Igor, and everybody knows his losses: Silva ×2, Shogun Rua, and Sakuraba. Those are his notable losses, I would say. Liddell, 20-3. He's beat Tito Ortiz twice. He's beat Renato Sobral twice. He's beat Randy Couture twice. Beat Jeremy Horn, Alistair Overeem, Vitor Belfort, Amar Suluev, Bustamante, Metzger, Randleman, Monson, just to name a few. I mean, that's his, he's got a very impressive resume of names that everybody knows. Losses, of course, Couture, Horn, and Jackson. Jackson, I have seen a different Jackson than in the first fight. Not everybody has, and I understand that. It's everybody's entitled to their opinion of seeing, a certain fighter. I just see something different in him. I don't think he has that killer instinct. I think that second loss to Silva, coupled with getting dominated by Shogun, I think that's still with him. I think that he lost his killer instinct. I don't see his movement being as crisp, his stand-up as crisp, his ground and pound as rugged. I just see a different fighter. He's more tentative. It just seems like, I think he lost to Matt Lindland. I watched that fight 4 or 5 times, and each time I'm like, God, Lindland won this fight. And it was a split decision, and that's what, his last 2 fights have been against 185ers. Marvin Eastman's natural 185. He got knocked out by Travis Lutter. So I just see a different Rampage. I hope I'm wrong, though, because I want to see a great fight. Chuck, on the other hand, since that loss, has looked unstoppable. And people hate it when people give him shit about fighting Jeremy Horn and fighting Vernon White afterwards, after that loss, saying, oh, well, he fought 2 185. Well, he also fought Couture twice after that. He also fought Sobral and Ortiz. He fought great fighters after that, and it's always the Rampage fans who come out and say, oh, well, he beat 185ers. Well, what the fuck has Rampage been doing? Last 2 fights, come on. And the reason Chuck is one of my favorites is because he does the thing that not enough fighters do. He finishes every fight. You have to go back to, I believe, 2002 to find a decision in Chuck Liddell, and that's just retarded. That's just awesome. It's no fighter usually goes that long without a decision. So, he's got amazing hands. Everybody knows his angling for his striking is that's what really sets him aside. That's what gives him a chance against anybody. His takedown defense is the best in the world. He's got great kicks, and I'm hoping he utilizes those more. And his ability to stand up after he gets taken down. And this is also being fought in Chuck's home territory. This is a cage. Don't want to answer that. So, you know, I think with the revenge factor, with everything, Chuck Liddell. A lot of people are saying third round TKO. I'm going to say second round TKO. I think Chuck's going to come out. I think he's going to be 100% healthy. I think he's going to be off the chain, ready to do this and avenge his final loss, and hopefully after that move up to heavyweight. So that's my predictions. So again, Ultimate Fighter 1 will be coming up, and after that, you know, my review vid will hopefully be up the day after. If it's not, it's just because I haven't seen it, because I might be going camping this weekend. But as soon as possible, and then aftermath vid one day after that. So, all right, everybody, Night Train, Shocker, and I'm out.